Hey, how's it going? It's Justin McDonald here. I'm here a little bit late for you all, or you, or somebody that's watching this later than live. And it's better late than never, right? So, consistency is key when you're creating content for people. Whether you're a musician or comedian or you're a writer or ghostwriter or journalist or anchor, whatever you is, you want to be consistent. So sometimes you have days where it's, you know, you can make up a million excuses on why you can't do something, And today was one of those days, but I still did it. No, I had to go. I got my hair cut, right? My long hair. No, I just cut a little bit of it. But then, by the time I did that, you know, grabbed a midday coffee, did some more writing, and then I had to go to the fire station. But you know what we did at the fire station today? We ended up tearing apart cars. That was pretty cool. I wish I could show you some videos, some pictures of it, but yeah, it was neat stuff, you know. Gotta use the jaws of life. Not on any people, fortunately. There was just two cars that we had donated, and we got to peel apart today. So that was pretty cool. So, by the time I got out of that, it was like, I still gotta do this. Still, this is what it's all about, though. Um, like if you really, really love what you're doing, or if you really are that passionate about it, or you really care that much about it, that deeply about it, hey, ask me entrepreneur copywriting marketing questions at 10 in the morning, 10 at night, at midnight, at noon, at 7 in the morning, at 7 at night. I will still be on point. That's the whole point here too. And yeah, I'm drinking some coffee around midnight. So what? I know somebody's gonna say something about it, but I don't care. I'll still sleep like a baby when it's time to go to bed. Anyways, let's cut to the chase here. I know my writing is a little, uh, eh. It's seen better days. And we have another one today that is actually written by me. But I will say that I probably got that quote from a mix of different entrepreneurs. Probably Dan Kennedy being one. Another one probably being maybe Andre Chaperone and Peter Spapen, who's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Peter. And the reason why I say that is because I see the pop in there, and pop stands for not your dad, not your grandpa. No, pop stands for not soda pop either. Close. No, pop is pocket of people, and that's why I figure it was probably one of Andre Chaperone's programs. I remember him using that word a lot, pop. So that's what popped in my head when I saw that. And Dan Kennedy too would definitely say something about this. Maybe even Seth Godin. But be exciting to your pocket of people. Those being your clients, your customers, your patrons, your patients, your business, and audience. And it's okay to be boring in real life. This can go into a few different tangents here, but we'll try to stay on topic. Be exciting to your pop. So I want to drop that nasty N word, nerd. Ha. And that's what this is kind of being. Like, I mean, nerding out. Like, you ever hear somebody say they're nerding out to something? Like, this is like that definition right there. Like, think, sorry guys, but Star Wars. Think Star Wars, right? Like, some people, or Star Trek or whatever, um, they got a pocket of people that I'm sure that are very, very loyal to Star Trek or Star Wars. And to some people it might be boring or whatever, but to those people that are loyal fans, they're anything but boring. So like, how about for instance marketing and business and entrepreneurship? If you're tuning in right now, it's like midnight on a Wednesday. You are this, right? Or maybe, no, or am I this? Like, be exciting to your pocket of people, even if it's a small pocket, you know? And then, yeah, I'm sure the rest of the world that does not care about, even if they have their own business, they're probably like, I don't want to think about it right now around 11 to 12 o'clock at night. And you know what? That's okay. Like, you don't want to be like, I mean, a lot of businesses, you don't want to be that exciting, right? Like, if you were a mortician and worked at a funeral home, if you were a lawyer, all right, we don't need to be that grim, right? If you were in a doctor's office, or for instance, for me, the fire station, like, you know what? To the outside world, we're just some boring people doing our job, right? But like when you're with your buddies, your partners, your team members, I mean, or whoever, your co-workers, like, is it possible to do that? Like, is there a little bit of a license to have some humor, maybe even some dirty humor once in a while, if it's like, you know, if it's the right place and time? I mean, I'm sure that's not so good in some places, but maybe some places that does exist. But like, yeah, like in the professional world too, it's possible. It's there's an art to it though, of being exciting and like having like inside humor and jokes, but like, you know, you're still maintaining like a level of professionalism where like when, you know what I mean, people aren't like thinking like you're a joke or whatever, or just thinking you're clowning around. So like, nerding out could be part of this, what this is all about being exciting to your pocket of people and being boring maybe to the rest of the world. Um, but yeah, like you don't want to get yourself in trouble by, you know, just clowning around when customers are, you know, around and you don't want them. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe that might be good. Um, hmm. But yeah, entrepreneurship, having your own niche. I mean, all that stuff to the outsider could be boring, but yeah, just as long as you're able to conduct business without, I mean, the worst thing you could do is actually be boring in your marketing messaging, anyways. Um, so there's different ways to break this one down because, like, I mean, you gotta be careful being boring too. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like that's like the worst thing you could do when you're like, when you're, let's say, writing a newsletter or writing like any other sales letter for customers and patrons and people that are like engaged in your material. Like, being boring is the last thing you want to do. Um, but if a lot of businesses are and can be boring, and it's fine. And like where people can find the magic in businesses is when they're able to like put like a little fun, almost like Disneyfying the business, where like or like plussing it or whatever, where there's like just so much opportunity to do this in times where people don't expect there to be fun. Like there's like what, dress down day, wear Hawaiian shirt day at work sometimes. There's there's giving of gifts too that I've seen work too. Like even in like if you had like a carpet cleaning business or a pool cleaning business or window washing business or something, like you could also be exciting to your client and customers and patrons by just showing up with a small little gift. Not like something that's just like super promotional, but it could be like, just some little thing that maybe costs like $5-10. It's wrapped up nice, and like every and any business could do something like that. So you're like, that's why I was like kind of like stumped almost for a second too. Like you don't have to be funny either, because sometimes like having that kind of like being too silly and funny could actually be very detrimental in business. Remember the ones we were talking about at the beginning, like very serious like lawyer stuff and like funeral stuff and things like that. You don't want to be, you know what I mean? You don't want to be that exciting. That's probably not. That'd probably be a little weird, right? Um, However, even places like that are dim and dark and what people don't look forward to, there's still ways to like kind of be exciting a little bit. Like maybe like for in that instance, maybe it has to do with like a floral arrangement or a food arrangement. Like funerals. Unfortunately, we all have to go to them. A lot of times, have like a reception of food and a gathering. And sometimes of it ends up being like almost a positive experience. It's bittersweet, right? You go to a funeral sometimes, and it's like you haven't seen these faces, friends and family, and gosh, sometimes 5-10 years, and it's like a really weird. It's like a really weird feeling, right? Because you're just like, wow, I haven't seen these people in so long, and it's good to see them, but I wish it was for better reasons. And a lot of times people are traveling all across the country and stuff to attend, and even in those situations, like having like some kind of like relief, comedy relief, a way to relax and kick back. Think about the bars. I was like thinking about this the other day, like the bars that serve drinks near funeral homes probably do very well. Because think about all those people that are at the funeral that drink. They're like, oh, thank God there's a bar over here after. And I've seen that before too, but think about the bar. Bars that are next to funeral homes. Wow, they nail this, don't they? They're exciting, definitely, to their pocket of people who are what? Anybody that drinks, right? Um, but they could just be like some boring little hole in the wall tavern, right? And most people might go by and they're like, I don't. That place is just weird. I don't like that place. It's boring or whatever. But if you're, traveling across the country, traveling across the state, and, you're having a difficult time dealing with this grievance, this loss, and it just so happens that there's a bar right there, and a third or half of the people that are at the funeral are going to be there, yeah, you might end up going there. Or even if you don't go there, you might even look forward to going there just for, like, the social aspect of things, too. Um, there's more. There's a lot more to this too. I mean, like sometimes places where you eat, sometimes even grocery stores can find a way to kind of be like this too. Like they make the shopping experience or the dining experience pleasurable, exciting, and interesting, to a point where like everybody is there is like feeling like they're in some kind of exclusive kind of club or something. I mean, I'm more talking about restaurants here, not necessarily grocery stores, but like, um, but on another level, they probably want to be boring. Like fancy, ritzy, up class restaurants, right? They're definitely hitting that one, right? But then you go by and you're just somebody that's not really like hungry or you can't really afford it. It's just like, that's just boring, right? But like not if you're not if you're there in the club, right? So, um I don't know. You can feel free to leave your comments down below too, and like where you've seen like excitement, or where you could see like where it's like it's got like this like nerding out aspect, right? Where it's like the general population's kind of just like meh, they like wrote it off or whatever, and but it's like it's super exciting to you. Like I'm one of those people that will watch something, or when I was younger, I would play sometimes video games too that were like 3 or 5 years past their date of their prime, and then what I mean. It's like in like the $5 bin or like the dollar bin, or it's like the free on TV movie, or the movie that's only like $1 or $2 to rent. Instead of going to the movies to see it. Like you know, boring to a lot of people, but it would be like, exciting to me. So like all kinds of things, even in pop culture, have found a way to make sense out of this. I would say some types of classical music and jazz. I love both of those kinds of music, by the way, especially jazz. Classical too. It's got its moments, but like boring in real life to a lot of people. But boy, if you're into that kind of music, or if you're like trying to study, or if you're trying to write or read, first of all, I can recommend some great, definitely not classical, but jazz artists. Particularly jazz fusion, like smooth jazz, like really good stuff too. I'm telling you, really good stuff too. Even if you love rock and roll, like just like there's, what I mean, probably boring for a lot of people, you know what I mean, at whatever, but like if you're like somebody that likes to like draw or paint or write or read, there's a lot of music that might seem boring to some people, but if you're in that kind of stuff, like and you listen to some jazz or listen to some classical, it's just like background music for it. It's just like drinking coffee or anything. I don't know. Just kind of like it just kind of goes with it. So yeah. Um, don't be boring in your marketing messaging. Don't ever be bored. Do me a favor. Don't ever be boring in your marketing messaging. That's like the number one sin you can do. And I know for a fact Dan Kennedy said that. It's true too. The worst thing you could do in your marketing messaging is be boring. But what I mean. I think what it's kind of saying too is like what I mean. Don't like break the rules of your business so you look like unprofessional, and you just look like what I mean. People they drive by your business or they go by your business in some fashion and they're just like, look at these clowns. You know what I mean? You ever go to a Jiffy Lube sometimes and you just see like, 3 or 4 guys sitting on milk crates, ordering pizza, just chilling. Sorry, Jiffy Lube. You're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to take my car there. I've heard bad things about that place, right? But you go to another mechanic place, they might have a little classic rock playing in the background. Maybe they're kicking back beers at the end of their shift, whatever. And they're like, boring. They're just super nerds. Like, they're like mechanically inclined. They know everything about your car and all these cars, right? Boring. But to their customers, the people that work there, you know what I mean? The dirty jokes, the inside jokes, like all this stuff, the patrons, like they're having a good old time. You know what I mean? I have mechanics like that too. I've had them too. They're having like, it's like, it's like a really weird thing. Like they know the machine so well. They're so mechanically inclined. It's like, it ends up being more about like their jokes and the relationships like that they're having with the customers and just like, shooting the breeze with them and just like, like the car horror stories and the car success stories and like you'll never believe what happened with this car and that, like they are super in this pocket too, like exciting to their pocket, right? But then like, people that don't really care about cars and stuff like that, they're just like, I'm good with that. So thanks again for listening and watching or whatever you're doing right now. But yeah, like just think about that too. Like, maybe your business could be even like something like real estate or coaching or something else where some people, you know what I mean? It might be like boring because it's like to them because it's like it requires a level of action or there's just like, but like even like a real estate agent or something like that's like closing a deal could bring like a platter of cookies and have like the confetti and balloons or whatever when they're closing the deal or coaches too and mentors like that are maybe somebody as a gift received some kind of mentoring or teaching or coaching. You know what I mean? They might just be like, oh, you know what I mean? They might just think of it like school or something. But like, you know what I mean? There's ways to make that exciting too. There's everything from participation trophies now to stickers, right? To candy and cookies and desserts and all kinds of little like gift certificates like or just certificate of achievement, words of endearment. Like there's all these different things you can do in mentoring and coaching and stuff like that that can be fun too. Just like all these little perks that or like these little milestone little treats like the participants could get too. So just use your imagination with that, but for the general public, just you can remain being that boring thing that most people just pass off. But your die-hard fans, your true fans, the true clients, the people that you're gonna be serving for the rest of your life, or at least the life of your business, like be awesome to them. Give a crap. Like do fun stuff. Be like a pleasure to do business with. You know what I mean? Because shopping can be fun. Like spending money doesn't have to be just boring and dull and stupid. Like shopping, like we all love to shop. Most of us, I'm pretty sure most of us like shopping, right? Especially like when you're getting things that you actually want and you have money to pay for them, right? You're like, you know what I mean? Someone's getting a brand new pair of kicks or shoes or some food thing or I don't know, whatever it could be, something for their car or whatever. It's exciting, right? It's exciting for them. It should be. And like that's what I'm saying, like you could do. Like a lot of places in the mall do this, like all different like you know what I mean? Some of that stuff's just boring. It's just commodity stuff. It's just whatever. But like, make it exciting. Use your imagination. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Go to bed. All right. See you later. Peace. Thanks.